How's it going? It's Rob here, just a quick update for the month of December from Giltown. I suppose December is a busy month really across all the farms, and I suppose it's a kind of a hidden busy month nearly. And there's a lot of cows to dry off. There's dosing going on. There's getting ready for calving. So I suppose at this stage we're back to milking 150 cows once a day in the parlour. There's 100 cows dried off. And I suppose what's milking is doing about a kilo or just under a kilo. So it's not super milk, but it's putting something in the tank, and it's something to sell. I suppose there's cows in the parlour that are probably a bit under condition that are putting it on, so it's not the end of the world to have them going through, particularly for the late calvers and that. There's 100 cows dried off. Of them, there's about 20 of them will be under condition score, and that's I suppose why they were dried off a bit early. And for the last 2 weeks they've been getting 2 kilos of rolled oats. So they'll probably get it for another probably 2 or 3 weeks, just to help build condition. They are starting, you can see them, they are turning around. So they should be 100% by calving day. We tested the tank for worms, fluke, IBR, Neospora and Salmonella, and it all came back negative apart from fluke and IBR. So everything that's as they're dried off, they're getting a fluke dose, and then in January we'll vaccinate for IBR at the same time as we do our annual lepto vaccine. So the reason we do that in January as opposed to December is because the heifers are coming back from the contract rear in the next couple of weeks. So that it allows them to be in and settled before we start vaccinating, and then we can do the whole herd of what's going to be here next year in one go. When the heifers come back, they're starting to calve around the 15th to the 20th of January is the start date. They'll be looking to put them as soon as they start bagging up. They'll probably go on slats when they come down first for maybe 2 weeks, and then as soon as there's any sign of them bagging up at all, they'll be going on to cubicles. They'll be bedded with peat, and then into the calving shed for calving, obviously. We did that last year. It worked very well. We'd no cases of mastitis really in heifers that were kind of certainly not linked back to that period. We've got fencing to go through. We need to walk the whole farm, just check all the fences. There's some gap handles need repairing just from the end of our last round. We've got a soil sample to take from every paddock. We want to test all the paddocks for P&K and lime, just to see where they're at. There's an awful lot of grass come off, particularly the paddocks and the ground and silage ground, and anywhere that was cut for either bales or pit. So there's I think there's 17 tonne growing across the paddock so far. We'll do a final walk in I suppose the end of December, just to get an annual figure for the year. And then on the silage ground we'll walk that again. So far it's grown about 22 tonne, which is massive crops. So there's obviously there's going to be a huge demand on K in particular. So there's probably some K to go out in in early January. So we'll get that plan in place for that. We then, I suppose, get sheds ready for calving and calf sheds and stuff. We're more or less have got them ready at this stage. There's a couple of gates to hang, and then I suppose it's down to cleaning, get feeders out cleaned, set up foot baths and all that sort of stuff. So I suppose when you take Christmas out of it, it's not going to be that long before we've calves in the ground really. So it'll be good to get all that lot wrapped up and done. I suppose then if we've time, we'll take a few days off as a block, kind of each, myself and Alex here, before I suppose all the calves hit the ground, just so we're fully charged and ready to go for when we get into the thick of it. We've got, I suppose we'll probably end up calving about 93 or 4% in the first 6 weeks, just between heifers and the scan rate then on the cows. It'll probably be a fairly full-on first 6 weeks, and then it should tail off fairly dramatically then after that. So I'll happy Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year.